Here we go. Hour 3. It's Friday. It's live in L.A. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be, however you may be listening, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Kobe Jones from Qatar. Now Mark Sanchez, top of hour number 3, the former USC great, 10 years in the NFL, 6 playoff games, 4-2, by the way. Beat Peyton Manning, beat Brady. J-Mac is here. Listen.
Sanchez resume and J-Mac.
Did not mean it to land
Sanchez
like that.
has 4 more playoff wins than Derek Carr, your guy.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Why? Playoff
This
wins
is a
count.
fun Friday. Let's not bash people, huh?
Exactly. Let's be glass
Let's be
half.
positive.
Yeah, glass
Positive.
half full guy.
Jets 21, Patriots 17.
Oh,
So-
this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, positively insane.
I like it.
So let's start with this. I was saying it last night. I was just saying it off. I can tell. I don't have to have the play sheet. I can tell, like, oh, I know what they want to do. I know what they want to establish. I said this a couple weeks ago, and I believe this. I think Vrabel's the most underrated coach in pro sports in America. All that dude does, the fact that he took the Chiefs to overtime and did not get a first down in the second half. So I watched that first drive last night, and I'm like, and then Mr. Tough Guy comes out with a trick play.
I loved it.
I mean, just talk about, first of all, that's not as easy as people think.
It's not as easy as people think, and neither is short week in Lambeau. It's snowing on a Thursday night. You know that crowd is just rocking. That is a tough place to go. Just an absolute hornet's nest. And to go in there and kind of push those guys around a little bit, even the way the defense closed it in the fourth quarter, like Green Bay's trying to come back. I think, Tannehill had the one slip up on the throw late in the game, but the defense is kind of went back and forth a little in that fourth quarter, and the Titans just shut them down. But that jump pass, I mean, that's so much harder than people think, because you got to get the O-line to sell it up front and get enough sell for the running back to hold the ball for a couple seconds right there just to let Hooper leak out. Hooper's going to block down and then leak out. I mean, those guys up front are basically playing Red Rover with 300-pound guys. Like, there's nowhere to go. You're on the goal line. You've reached your max, point of forward movement, right? Like, you can't do anything, and you can't engage them too early. You can't block them. You can't drive block them past the line of scrimmage, because then you got guys downfield, just like on the screens. So that's not easy to handle. Plus, you factor in their first drive of the game where they just ripped down the field.
It was so Titans.
Todd Downey had those guys just dialed in. I love that game plan. That's a tough out for anybody. When Tennessee kind of runs the table like that, I know the knock is, okay, they can't win a playoff game, whatever. Okay, fine. They slipped up last year, had a rough day at the office. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to overcome those things, exercise those demons, and go ball the way they did in that game. That's going to be a tough deal.
That Titans team's got a Jets team feel to it.
It really does.
Defense, running game,
exactly
always
right.
travel. When you're a team that you're not as explosive, go back to your Jets career like Tennessee last night. It kind of simplifies things, doesn't it?
100%. You just essentially, you're going to get a loaded box, and your throws on the outside are going to be one-on-one matchups, potentially. So then it's your Braylon Edwards, Santonio Holmes. You get a one-on-one with Dustin Keller, whatever. But for the Jets, I mean, I'd love to see them do some of the stuff. I know we're going to talk about Justin Fields, but even the design quarterback run that we see Josh Allen do, that we've seen Daniel Jones
Tannehill
do.
can move.
Tannehill's done it, can do it. But essentially, it's this numbers game, right? So the same way they get Tannehill to fake like he's doing an audible and they snap it directly to Henry, moving the quarterback outside, hopefully you draw one defender away, and now you have perfectly even numbers inside, either 8-on-8 or 9-on-9. But when the quarterback's in the backfield and hands the ball off, there's essentially somebody on the defensive backfield assigned to the quarterback more or less, but he doesn't block anybody. So now you have one more than the offense has, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just simple math stuff, right? So anytime you just hike it to the back or hike it to the quarterback and let him run and the running back blocks, now we're completely even across the board. Advantage offense because we know where we're going. We got a little momentum, whatever. I love it when teams are doing that. Baltimore does it plenty. I mean, the teams that let the quarterbacks run a little bit, I could see the Jets doing that.
Yeah.
And bottom line for this game against Belichick and the Patriots again, like their offense isn't some explosive offense up in New England that you got to worry about them scoring 35 points, right? Like that's not really their blueprint. They're trying to figure it out still. And the Jets defense is just locked down. That Sauce Gardner's,
So
Lavernius Cole says change his name from Sauce to Gravy. He goes, because I want gravy on everything.
Mac's getting heat. There's a story breaking today that a lot of people are out on him. And do you want to defend him, or what do you make of the criticism?
Here's the problem. I feel like Brian Hoyer might as well just call plays for them. He's probably the most qualified offensively. I'm dead serious.
No, that's interesting.
I'm dead serious. This is no knock on Joe Judge, but he's a special teams guy, right? Like if you had to label him, he's more of a special teams guy. Patricia is more of a defensive guy. Coach Belichick, defensive guy. He could probably call it if he wanted to, Bill. But who has the most offensive experience? Zappe's a rookie. You want for your second-year quarterback to have a special teams guy, defensive guy, calling plays for you. Not that they can't do it, but calling plays is not like riding a bike. I'd take you outside right now in the parking lot, Colin. I hope to God you guys can just get on a bike and start riding around.
Play calling is rhythm.
Play calling is rhythm and timing, sequencing, eliminating mistakes, thinking in advance of your quarterback, knowing when you're going to go for it on fourth down. I know play callers that can look at their sheet on third and short, knowing it's a fourth down call, and they're not even watching the play. They're just ready to go for the fourth down call. My thumb's on the call. Boom. Hey, somebody tell me in the headset if we got it. We got it? Okay, good. I got my next play. Let's roll. We didn't get it? All right, we're dialed up on the fourth down right away. So the quarterback's not looking back are we going for it? What are we doing? That takes so many reps and so much experience.
And you're asking a defensive coordinator.
And listen, I'm not saying that they couldn't be the best play caller of all time. They could, but it takes so long to do it. And if you got two guys who haven't done it consistently over and over, it just makes it tough on a second-year guy. So that's the toughest part. Now, if they're calling plays for Tom Brady, it's a little different, right? That guy has experience. He could probably call it himself.
Right.
But I don't know. That's a really tough spot for Mac, and they're still trying to figure it out.
So I was fooled on Darnold and Wentz. Very talented, reckless. Zach Wilson has some of that. Really talented, reckless. So this league likes you to be aggressive as a quarterback.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, aggressive. They punish you for reckless.
Correct.
So right now, Zach Wilson's straddling this line.
Sure.
Right?
Tight roping across Niagara Falls.
He is. He's straddling, and it's more often been reckless than just aggressive. Can you coach it? I always had this argument. Can you coach out reckless?
I think you can. And my, personal philosophy, everybody's got their own take on this, but I'd rather say whoa to the quarterback than pull the reins back than sick him, right? And I've mentioned that on the show before, but it's true. I want him to have that stinger. I want him to have the awareness, more importantly, the awareness of when to pull out the stinger and, step on someone's throat and end the game. End the game. Or know when the game is in flux, and this is the last possible opportunity we're going to have to fit it, a camel in a matchbox. The tightest window you might have. Okay, fine. You got no separation. Boom, jump ball. Justin Jefferson, end of the game, the one-handed catch. Kirk knew what was going on. Right? He knew the game is on the line. I can afford to cut this ball loose right now, right? If anything, they're trying to teach Kirk Cousins, hey, when Justin Jefferson's covered, he ain't covered.
Right.
If he's doubled, he ain't covered. Throw him the ball. So they've had to retrain his mind because he's so, a little more analog than digital that way. Just boom, boom, boom. I'm going to roll through my progressions. Well, Zach's the opposite. And now it's coaching out the two bad interceptions. I'm okay the one he missed on the tight end, they on the wrong page. We talked about this a couple weeks ago on a shallow cross route. Fine. A miscommunication, I'm good with that. But if you're going to roll outside the pocket, slam on the brakes, in the dead man zone, outside the numbers, and stand there and try and throw a ball on a defensive teammate, no way. Literally throw it out of bounds, flick it out of bounds, kick it out of bounds, fall down, anything but that. And if you can coach that out of him, the kid is absolutely deadly. Because when it's time to use the stinger, that boy's got it. There's no question. When it's time to go and take him off the leash and let him run, go. He can do it.
So last week you did Lions-Bears. Bears had control of the game.
Oh, my gosh.
I thought
it was game of the year other than the Buffalo game.
It was great.
In the same window. I was like, great, thanks.
What is the thing? Give me some stuff on Justin Fields, where you're seeing growth, where he's got to grow. What did you see?
Well, I really do love what Getsy's doing. He's making the most of what he has, right? And good coordinators, you install an entire playbook, but then you major in what your guys can really go with. adding a big receiver in Claypool, I think, is huge. I think they could still use help in the receiver department to help him out. But making sure, Herbert, I think Herbert just went down, but Herbert and their other running back, Montgomery, like those guys are going to take the bulk of the load. But don't forget, the QB can run now. He's 6'4.5", maybe 6'5", and he can really fly. On third downs, he has the most rushing yards and first downs than any quarterback like in history. He's got more rushing yards than anybody in the league. I mean, he ripped off like a 78-yard touchdown run after a crucial interception. So then on the interceptions, it's on screen passes. Same thing with similar talking about Zach Wilson, right? Dialing these guys back. He looked like a rookie on that play, Justin Fields. He looked like a rookie because the screen got sniffed out by Hutchinson. It was a little tight end screen. Hutchinson gets in the way of the throw. Now, if there's a defender in front of you on that throw, let's start here. On all screens, if you have a clear line of sight to the receiver, it's a dart. You throw it right at him. Fastest way possible, get it to him. If there's a defender in front of you or any color in front of you, you want to give him more of a free throw.
Yeah.
But Justin kind of double clutched and then tried to throw the free throw, and he threw it way too far.
Yeah.
So it's dart, free throw, or dirt the sucker because you're down in your own territory. You got the lead. You got everything. And then he throws it to Okudah. Boom. Pick six. Boomerang ball.
Yeah.
Touchdown other way. Then he rips off the 78-yard touchdown and kind of negates it. But if you eliminate that one mistake, I mean, the kid is just so special. You can't tackle the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you here's what they were trying to do. They nickel pressured him to his throwing hand side to force him to get out to his left, just so they can cut the field in half for the defensive back, so they know when these plays, the second part of the play, they know that the receiver's only going to go one way and follow the quarterback to the left side of the field and shut down half the field. They're trying to do something like that's just admitting on the defensive side, like, hey, we're not going to be able to corral this guy. We're going to at least try and better our chances. But it's so hard with guys like that.
Yeah. So there's a story. It's been suggested with Aaron Rodgers that
oh boy,
it's been suggested.
I thought we were being positive.
Well, it's been suggested that Minnesota's on fire, Green Bay season's over. With the NFC, if the Giants win this week, Dallas, you're not making the playoffs. Seattle's on fire, surprising. San Francisco, it's very unlikely that the wild card team's going to come out of that division. Could you go to Aaron and say, I want to protect you. We need a better draft pick. We got to see if Jordan can play because then we can
take it
and we can trade him. We got to see if he can play. Can you go to him
and say you want to tank it?
No, say, Aaron, we don't want you hurt. You're going to be 39 in a week
and play Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, they're still in all these games. It's not like they're just getting wiped off the
they
map.
play Philadelphia next. They get boat raced. And Aaron gets sacked 4 times with a bad thumb. Can you go to him and say, bro, we do not want you hurt. You're 39.
I mean, Philly's coming off a loss, too. They looked a little more vulnerable in that game.
So you don't buy it at all?
I mean, sitting Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if that's the answer. If they're going to make the playoffs, as grim as it may look right now, if you're still trying to make the playoffs, you can't sit the guy. You just can't put 12 on the bench.
They're not a playoff team, though.
I don't know. I mean, this NFC looks a lot like it did for us in the AFC in 2009, where we went to bed one night thinking we're out of it. We lost to Atlanta, and then 3 other teams lost 2 weeks before the season was over. And, oh, my God, we're playing the Bengals at home with a chance to get in the playoffs and play the Bengals again.
Okay, let's say you lose to Philadelphia. Then you're 4-8, 4-9. You going to play in those last 4 or 5 weeks? You don't think it's possible?
Yeah, then we'd maybe talk.
Okay.
Then we'd maybe talk about it. But that's not going to be easy. That's the worst decision.
Life's not easy. Well, here's another one. Here's another great one. Let's just talk 49ers. This team's loaded. Garoppolo, let's say they come back, win the division. They already beat Seattle once, beat them again. They win the division. They're not a number 1 seed, but this team travels well. Defense, run game. And they end up in the NFC Championship again. Okay. This team loves Jimmy. They love him.
Okay.
The hell do you do with Trey Lance?
Oof.
By the way, Trey, you know this. Trey needs reps. He doesn't play enough football. We're going to tell Jimmy
3 years. Yeah, no. It's just.
I think it's a situation where there is value in just saying he wins and my guys love him. I think San Francisco's in a weird spot. I don't think Green Bay's in a weird spot.
Yeah, but San Fran has, I feel like, better problems than Green Bay because you're going to have to like move on potentially from this Hall of Fame player, and that's always weird. Like,
yes.
And could send you into this spiral if you
right.
don't. If let's say they miss on the next 3 quarterbacks, chances are you do, right? Chances are the quarterback doesn't pan out.
Right.
So now what? So I think Green Bay's in a different place. I think San Francisco's living in the moment, the way they're built to win right this second.
Right.
And they're going to ride that sucker out and almost like we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Sure.
It's going to be awkward, but boys, let's just leave that elephant, exit, that elephant right out of the room, keep him in the circus tent. We'll handle it at the end of the year.
Okay, so maybe the most interesting game of the week is Dallas going to Minnesota. So I want you to go back to your career. So Minnesota comes off the game of the year. Wildly
exhausting.
emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you come home and it's not an urgent game because Green Bay lost. The division is yours. So go back to your career. There are those games, 1 or 2 a year. They're glorious wins, but you had like 84 snaps.
Yeah.
And I could see Minnesota coming back home and a desperate Dallas team. I think they're going to knock them off. Go back to your. Yeah. Sometimes we think all wins are good. But that game was so electric for Minnesota.
No, I think it gave them so much confidence that they're going to be riding so high. I think because of the games you're talking about in my career, the guy who was a part of that was Kevin O'Connell. He's now the head coach. He was in our quarterback room. So he knew after we went down on Monday night, Dustin Keller catches a huge pass. Braylon Edwards catches the game winner up the sideline. The Dolphins are in their orange unis. Chad Henne's playing. We're going back and forth. And we end up winning this emotional game, and everybody's just kind of spent, like, whoa, what just happened? But you're feeling good about what just happened. It was just exhausting. And the coaches kind of take care of you. But they really put the emphasis on the mental reps that week. Maybe a couple more walkthroughs. Maybe instead of 12-play racks of plays in a period for offense and then a period for defense, cut them down to 10 or 12 or 10 or 8, and then the last 4 walkthrough plays. You adjust the tempo and speed of practice. You really emphasize, hey, I'm going to give you an extra hour of sleep. Don't blow this and go out the night before. Let's just be smart about it and stay on our track.
Okay.
I think Kevin O'Connell is so cognizant of that. He's so aware. So, listen, there are plenty of distractions, though, right? The gloves and the sleeve from Justin Jefferson are now on display in the Pro Football Hall of Fame just from that one catch. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's stuff like that where it's just, is it everything? No. Is it something? Yes, as you always mention, right? It's something, and there's a lot of extra something. Kevin taking a shot at 12 men on the field when he did his little press conference saying, I'm still trying to come up with plays that beat 12 defenders.
Right. No.
He's like, we'll do our best with that. I was like, okay, Kev, talk your smack, boy.
Okay, you got, by the way, before we let him go, you have Panthers-Ravens. Lamar Jackson's may not play.
Yeah, a little shaky today, it sounded like. They're saying illness, but it sounds like he's going to be good to go. We're supposed to talk to him hopefully tomorrow, which means, it'll be an interesting matchup. But
USC UCLA, I'm going to take USC UCLA. I am going to take USC close. I have fears that USC could end up watching a lot of the game, the offense from the sideline, is Chip Kelly dials up. They know exactly what they want to do against USC. Keep Caleb off the field and run the ball, which they do. I mean, you know exactly what this game's going to look like when UCLA has the football.
I think it'll be a high-scoring affair. I think I have so much respect for Chip. Got to go with the alma mater, of course. But
what are these games like?
Well, I just love that we're both wearing the home jerseys, burning a timeout, and at the Rose Bowl, that was one of my favorite moments is we get down near the goal line and Sark calls me over because we obviously don't have coach the quarterback, but we have a wristband. He goes, hey, I'm getting ready for wristband, red 34, whatever. He goes, you ready to throw your 30th touchdown pass? I said, hell yeah. He goes, tell the boys there's blood in the water, man. Let's go. And so I ran back in the huddle. I said, all right, guys, don't laugh. But Sark showed a whole shark video, like a Shark Week video the night before.
Yeah.
When there's blood in the water, sharks know what to do. So he said, we got them on the ropes. We got them on their heels. There's blood in the water. Go tell the boys. So the guys in the huddle were kind of laughing. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just relaying the message, but let's go score. Damian, you ready to catch this touchdown? And he goes, hell yeah, let's go.
And you did.
So we threw a touchdown on the very next play, but those were like, things you dream about growing up.
Was it the biggest regular season game?
Oh, it was awesome. The Rose Bowl is such a unique venue.
The San Gabriel Mountains behind it.
It's going to be pretty weather, and it's awesome.
And the crowd's all split up.
It's perfect.
It is
perfect.
It is so
Cardinal and powder blue. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Unbelievable. I'm going to go. Everybody's predicting it'll probably end up being 17-13. No. My guess is it's in
9-6.
It's in the 40-37, 37-34 range. Kind of a last team with the ball wins.
It's going to look a lot like the Utah game, I feel like.
I feel the exact same way.
Hopefully we just end up with the ball last.
Yeah. Good seeing you, man.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.